Y'all know that song? Anybody know that? LaShawn Pace Rhodes? My mama used to wear that woman out, honey. I remember one time we drove to Arkansas to see some family, and baby, her and my auntie, they played that whole album there and back over and over and over. I was 13 years old in the back of a little bitty car in a hatchback, and I was so mad because no matter which end I slept on, the speaker was right there. I was so angry. It looks like I've been in my happy place. Listen, I read and I straightened up my house, y'all, because there's so much stuff in here. I be feeling like I don't want to come out of my room. Now, it's not, what's the name, like hoarder type, but just for me, like, stuff got to be in a place. And I can only go so long with me just putting it here, putting it there, and then I got to go through and, like, move stuff around. And then there's so many things that we have purchased, you know, to give away and stuff like that. Most of that stuff is gone, but just it's a little bit of it left, like just little trinkety things like the soap holders and stuff like that. And I needed to get that stuff together. But y'all want to hear something scary that happened to me, nephew? Ooh. I went to the store today and somebody said, "Hey, Circa," real loud. When I tell y'all, my heart stopped. And it was a white person. I said, I mean loud, standing in front of me in the line, and y'all wonder why I don't go outside. My daughter said I would have booed on myself. I said, yep, I almost did. You look different. Oh my goodness, you look so different. Oh, I was like, I said, I didn't even look back because I didn't know if it was people back there. I just hurry up and got myself and left. Oh, I mean loud too. White folks, why y'all be talking about we loud? White folks, why is y'all so loud? Listen, white folks, why are y'all so loud? If we think we know somebody, we say, "Excuse me, is your name?" Okay? Because we don't want to be loud and wrong. You hear me? We're not gonna say, "Hey, is your," we're gonna say, "Excuse me." That's how we need y'all to do it. Don't just call out. You're not supposed to do that, white folks. The shock and the speediness in your legs. Listen, don't do it. I love y'all, white folks. When you think it's a person, you just go over to them. Say, "Hey, what's your name?" Don't yell it across the stove. Baby, because you should have seen me trying to hurry up and get out of there. I was like, oh, God. Yep. Just crazy. Just crazy. Listen. Mm, never mind. So anyway, I was like, listen, I'm still recovering from that right now. This one go outside. That is exactly why I be in my house. Listen, I don't need that in my life. That's a scary thing for a person to know you and you don't know them. That is scary. I don't care. That's like somebody walking up to you you never met saying your name and looking at you like that's terrifying because you don't know if they happy with you or sad with you. My daughter said, "Mama, you have grandma with you?" I said, "Grandma with me at all times, but I don't go nowhere without grandma. I don't go nowhere my grandma can't go. I keeps my family together." Should have got them with the school rules. Might need one for one in person. Now I already got one. I said I love y'all, but please don't walk up to me. I told y'all that when we first got over here, because this didn't happen to me a couple times. People took pictures though. They didn't say my name, but like I told y'all, one time I was at Walmart and a lady walked up to me, and then when I went and got my car fixed, the people was like, I was like, and I went to an all white neighborhood too. I'm like, yeah, they ain't gonna know. And that man said, "I be seeing you on TikTok." I said, "I can't go nowhere." And I be trying to get in and out, baby. I'm gonna start keeping me some shades on. That's what I'm gonna do. And a hat that I don't wear on here. And that's not trying to be rude and act like I'm nobody, because I'm nobody. But it's just, I mean, I got people that haven't cared for me for a long time for whatever reason. So just, I don't do all that. I just be, I don't know. That's why I try to go early in the morning or late at night. Yeah, because you don't know who know, and you got to think. A lot of people shared our videos that we don't know. People shared y'all videos that y'all shared, and sometimes they had my face in them. So there ain't no telling who know. You know what I mean? So I be like, I don't be wanting to go nowhere. Anyway, so I got a chance. Y'all see my lotto tickets in do. These is old. It's fine. I use everything as a bookmark. So I got a chance to get into these two books. Now, I like this book, but I'm going to tell y'all what I don't like about this book, okay? I don't like the fact that the people that wrote this book are, right? That I don't care about that. I need the knowledge. But how do you go to somebody else's place calling people scoundrels and dirty and this and that? I get the information out of this book, but, and I'm not being racist. I'm not. I'm just saying, white folks, y'all gotta stop going over to other people's places and talking about their areas. Okay? Y'all cannot, I mean, even 100 and something years ago, this was still happening. Like, going into places and, calling people uncivilized, and yet you can't figure out how they built the stuff that they built. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm not saying y'all, I'm saying y'all grandmas and grandpas and stuff. Like, we got to stop doing that, okay? Because these people was trying to learn about another culture, and instantly they started talking negative about it. Now, it's some good information in this book. Absolutely amazing information in this book. But we got to quit doing that, okay? All my cousins that is, tell y'all grandmas and aunties and uncles and stuff, hey, when you gonna go learn about a person's culture, you don't go in there with your nose turned up. You take a time and learn, okay? Because it's just real crazy. My nose was all scrunched up reading it. I said, goodness gracious, it's an amazing book with amazing information. But the way that they talk about the indigenous people of this area, the Palestine and everything else, it makes me sad. It really does. Now, we gonna get into that too, because I put the bookmarkers where I needed them to be. This one. Can I read some stuff to y'all out of here? And I don't want nobody to think I'm being racist, but we see it a lot, okay? And even 100 years ago, that was happening, and it makes me sad, because it's like, you can't do that. If you want to learn about somebody, learn about them, but don't do that, okay? Like, it made me, I had to put the book down because I was getting mad. Okay. Who remembers CERCA TROVA and the WOIU community doing some digging and hunting around and stuff? You remember? Oh, Mari, get your seatbelt on. Get your seatbelt on. So guess what I learned in these few days of not talking to y'all? Now, some of you might know this. I did not. We're going to need the map. First, let's go on a trip, Mari. You said it. Guess what, family? Here we go. We're going to use this one. Thank you for all the gifts y'all sent me. First of all, before we go on this trip, okay, South America, right? Africa. You got it? South America, Africa. Who want to know something? Guess what I learned in the 2 days that I was away from y'all? I need a drum roll. Hold on. Let me see if I can find one. No, I need to stay on this playlist. We just gonna move on. I can't. Atlantis was right here, y'all. This is where Atlantis is, right here. There was a landmass that connected South America and Africa right here. That's why this is called the Atlantic Ocean. I did not know that. When they had the earthquake, because they did get overtaken, right? When the flood happened, there was a landmass here, right in the middle of here, that connected Africa to South America. South America wasn't in it was inhabited, but not really. So like basically from Africa, South America was the vacation spot that nobody really knows about. Right? Right. Okay? And so in this book, Our Story of Atlantis, that they don't want nobody to know about, they've already done the research. Now listen, if I got Spanish people in here, I need you to come to the front, okay? Because guess what? Guess what? Mind blowing, okay? So what happened is when Atlantis started to first off, it was Egyptians that came over here and started building stuff. Egyptians. Okay? So what I'm thinking is during the wars in the first part of the world, right, when certain people will get ran off the continent, just like what we were saying about the connection between Africa and Europe. Listen, yes, listen. You said in the flooding maps, they show that landmass popping up again. Okay, so listen. The Egyptians, when it says they ruled over the earth, the whole earth, they did. Okay, and they have proof in this book. And you can download this book at somethingarchives.com or whatever. You can download it for free. My son did it the other day. Okay, so listen, hold on. So when Atlantis fell, it started on the islands right on the outside. So what they did, they just went back to Africa, a lot of them. And then the ones on this side of the island went to South America. Okay, we're not done, but I just want you to understand. When this continent fell, they went this way. Now, some of the people did die, but some people got away. So some people went back to Africa and back to Egypt, and some went to South America. Okay? Just keep that in mind. Now, in Mexico, do we have any Spanish people here? Anybody Mexican? Have you ever heard of the Yaquis? My son, I was talking, he said, Mom, my friend is a Yaqui. He said, literally, his people is all Yaquis. I said, are you serious? I said, well, please tell your friend that he is in the lineage of the ancient Egyptians, because there is a place in Mexico next to the Sinaloa Mountains or something like that, and another area in Mexico. They said that there is a city up in the mountains that no white man, well, at this time in 1901, had ever been able to get in there. And the people look just like the people in the Solomon Islands. They just had green eyes, like light eyes. Good morning. They still worship the sun. They still sacrifice to the sun. They said that the temple that is over there, baby, make anything in Mexico City look like nothing. They still possess ancient knowledge. No joke. Also, y'all remember Peleg? Peleg lived after the flood. Right? Peleg lived after the flood, when the world had been broken apart. Well, the ruins of a prehistoric city have just been discovered by a party of prospectors from Yuma when on the Colorado Desert in search of the Peleg mine, but it's actually Peleg's mine. Peleg. And I believe Peleg was one of the people that went with Nimrod, if I'm not mistaken. I might be wrong, but he was one of the families that went with Nimrod to build um, the tower, right? They have it in here as PEG, peg leg, like a pirate, but it's actually Peleg from the Bible. Hmm. I said, ooh. It says the wind had laid bare the walls and the remains of the stone buildings, a distance of 420 feet in length and 260 feet in width, with gigantic pillars quaintly carved to represent dragon heads and rattlesnakes. Still stood in the sands of the desert, supporting on their tops huge slabs of granite weighing many tons, just like in Africa. Interesting. The frieze ornamentation resembled Egyptian sculptures and exhibited a great detail of skill than is possessed by the Indian artisans of the present day. What y'all think about that? Huh? Here we go. During the frequent visits I made to Mexico, said a minor engineer of Philadelphia and an Inquirer reporter, I've come in contact with many of the the Indian residents there, and have heard some of their singular stories. One which all the Indians unite in telling is that far in the exterior exists an enormous city, never yet visited by white men, and the man that wrote this is white. It is described as peopled by a race similar to the ancient Aztecs, who are sun worshippers and offer human sacrifice to their deity. The race is said to be in a high state of civilization, and the Indians say that the city is full of huge structures which are miracles of quaint but beautiful architecture, and are situated on broad paved streets far surpassing those of the city of Mexico. What y'all think about that? Hmm. I'm about to go back and watch the movie Atlantis after I finish reading this. Mm-hmm. Listen. It says there are but many of the illusions and traditions pointing to the fact that somewhere in the Southwest there is a people who undoubtedly hold a complete historical record of the chain of events from Atlantis in its prime down to the present day. So in 1903 is when this book was published. So probably around 1901 or 1899. This man went on a hunt. Hey, hey, Trina. Okay. And said, it's some people that's up in the mountains of South America. Yeah, they're indigenous Egyptians. And they have the lineage from before Atlantis was started and after. Sounds like El Dorado or Atlantis. Exactly. Listen, I feel like the movie Avatar is Atlantis. Yes. Avatar, the second Black Panther, and El Dorado and Atlantis. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I said, them is niggas. And if you look at everything, now think about this. Game of Thrones, the forest people. Listen. Listen, though. Hear me now. Remember, we talked about this when we watched the new Black Panther. Remember? And I said, y'all, look at the technology that they have. Remember who their parents were. Right? Their parents were angels. There are angels of the water, right? We talked about this. We know this. We read this in Enoch and other places. Yes or no? Do y'all agree? Okay, good. Now I'm gonna read the last page of this. It's not the last page. Hold on. See if I can find it. Did I not mark it? Basically, somewhere in here, and I can't find it or just right now, but it says until the angel of the waters allows it to be it says something about the angel of the water until he reveals it. I said there it is right there. Oh, I don't think I marked it, y'all. I didn't mark it. Dang it. Well, we'll run into it. But it basically said until the angel of the water reveals it. Yeah. Okay, so look. It says the Trinity in unity of God, now universally received, was an Egyptian idea, and the same is wrought into the stone tablets which Laplagion and his amiable wife have unearthed in the forests of the Mayas and the Quiches. If the nation of which of these are but the feeble remnants had not disappeared by some cataclysmic climax, we must certainly have had some later historical data. As the mind of the present generation is more largely than ever desirous of the truth, the idea of astral presentation and perception may not be without its weight, especially as the books of wisdom of the past declared the automatic books of record are kept of all deeds and manifestations upon earth. It may be asked why those who have entered into the rest of the unseen should be at all concerned in the unfoldment and development of the race, who are ever toiling over the rocky paths of this planet. It says, if the doctrine of reincarnation is true, then would it not be to the interest of the coming egos for all the race of men to be advanced just as far as possible, so that the reincarnated from time to time might receive the highest advantage attainable from their touch with the earth at any particular time. Those who are coming back, hear me, into present civilization, if they were of the advanced and cultured classes of Atlantis and the most ancient of Egypt, would be far more advantageous of acquirement through the leisure and experience through our leisure and experience than when hurled into life amid the horrors and darkness of the Stone Age. So, remember when God said that they was going to be coming back out of the earth? He said they was going to come out of the earth, the things that was living, because they ain't never died, all of them. They hid. They went into the mountains. It says Ignatius Donnelly finds a supporter of his Atlantis theory in Sir Daniel Wilson, president of the University of Toronto. Now, this is in 1901, who declares after a great deal of search that the lost Atlantis was not a myth, but that it was really a part of the continent of America. He accounts for its disappearance from view in a different way, but that is merely incidental. It says Donnelly's theory was that the land was submerged by some great volcanic upheaval, and that those who escaped to the continents of Europe and Asia came the tradition of the deluge. Sir Daniel rejects the explanation as being disproved by the fact that there are no traces of such volcanic action either on the continent or in the ocean bed. He believes that the ancient Egyptians, the most progressive and adventurous people of ancient times, discovered the continent, but that in the decline both of their learning and power, it became lost to view and existed at the time of our knowledge. And existed at the time our knowledge of Egypt begins merely as a shadowy tradition. It is his opinion that traces of the Egyptians of those days are to be sought in ruined cities of Central America, whose origin has never been determined nor even been made the basis of any reasonable theory. Such a discovery would furnish a substantial basis for the legend of the lost Atlantis, and the theory invests those wonderful ruins with a new interest for antiquarians. It says the St. Louis Republic said Atlantis was a continent supposed to have existed at a very early period in the Atlantic Ocean, over against the Pillars of Hercules. Interesting. But which was subsequently sunk in a cataclysmic, of which history, cataclysm, of which history gives no record, or no record. It says Plato was the first who gives an account of it, and he is said to have obtained his information from some Egyptian priest with whom he had come in contact. Plato's account says Atlantis was a continent larger than Asia and Africa put together, and that its western extremities were islands which afforded easy passage to a large continent lying still beyond, the last mentioned continent being now supposed to be South America. What y'all think? Did we talk about it? God told us this, that it was the ancient Egyptians. That's how I know that the first Indians that was here was Egyptians. That's why they did the totem. They did if you look, there are cultures. If you go look at the Indians and their beading, I just seen it in the last 2 weeks. It was I don't know what part of Africa they were in. There were some girls dancing, and everything that they had on was what the Indians wear over here. The beading and everything is the same. How they do the bird in their thing, and it's like white beads and then red beads and then maybe a blue or a brown. Everything is the same. Where they tie their feathers at, put them in their hair, everything, all the same. The rain dances, they do everything, all the same. What y'all think about that? How do that make y'all feel? Do it make your toes wiggle? Huh? Do it make your toes wiggle a little bit or a lot? Because that ain't all that I read, but I just wanted to point that out. Ain't that interesting? I suggest y'all download the book and read it. It's real, real good. It's real good. Especially my Spanish folks and my Latin peoples. Y'all need to go read it. Yeah, I think you should. They supposed to be coming to fix my ear today, too. Remember when we studied about this place? And I said this is not in Europe, it's in Egypt. Khonsu of Thebes, god of the day? Why would somebody from Thebes have a tower or be mentioned in the legend of Atlantis? Oh, here we go too. You said which makes me further believe that why our education system have strategically told us one side and biased info. Yeah, because I told y'all they be over there looking. They say it don't exist, but then they go get all of the stuff. And if, okay, think about this. In 1900s is when they really start like forming our for real like education system over here. Like early 1900s, it was, you know, whatever. A lot of these people, the people at like Harvard and all of these different places and stuff like that, they had already traveled around the world. Okay, so they knew what was over there. But when they, remember I told y'all in their clubs they told the truth about what was going on. But when they wrote it in, they didn't write it in as us. Excuse me, right? And you can tell because this book is from the 1800s. The man going over there and looking how he talked about the people. So of course he wrote the book, but he wrote it like all of the people of color were dirty and nasty and, you know, lived any kind of way and all this kind of stuff. All the while y'all over there trying to steal their stuff. Hello. Hello. So again, here's Peleg, and they was looking for his mind. Look, Nimrod. Boom. See? Peleg and Nimrod. Sidon was living at this time. You see what I'm saying? Sidon was living at this time. So, and the Canaanites. Boom. Here we go. We know for a fact all of these people had all of these people was giants. Now, see this name right here? Nahor. Right here. See this? Why was I watching what you call it? Not Game of Thrones, The Hobbit yesterday. I think they put Rohan is Nahor backwards. Or Haran. Because if you look at the back, if you go watch, I watched the Return of the King, and I watched the Twin Towers for The Hobbit, right? And I started looking at the terrain. It looks exactly like ancient Mesopotamia. You know how in certain places in Africa, you can look up and you see the mountains and they got snow on them, even though it's the desert. And then even how, because they said that not the fairies, what are they called? The elves, they lived in the city of kings. Where's the city of kings? And it's built into the rock. Where's the city of kings at? Egypt. The city of kings is Egypt. It's in Egypt. And it's built into the rock, into a mountain, in like an enclosed thing. Hello. It's making all the hair on my body stand up. I said they been flipped because the names. I'm like, wait a minute. Soran and Soduman. If you go look at where Sodoman or was at, and the wall, just go look at the architecture. Listen, it's going to blow your mind when you go watch it again. If you think about everything that we studied, if you think about, it's right there. Just like the scene in Out of the World from Mortal Kombat movie. I haven't seen a Mortal Kombat movie. I haven't watched it. They changing the names around, y'all. That's it. And telling us the stories. Because the orcs, I guarantee you, they was odd people. Because they was trying to get rid of all the humans. They was saying, yes. They, like, I was, when I say I was watching it yesterday, not just watching it, I was listening to the names. I was looking at all of the stuff that was going on in there. I'm like, they playing. So what they're doing, They, whoever that person is, they probably got the scrolls, and they just play with the names, y'all. I'm telling you what I know. Because think about it, Gandalf he lived like 1,000 years or however old he was, right? And his staff had that crystal on the top of it. All of the wizards, and the wizards was larger than everybody else. They was larger than the human men. They was larger than some of the orcs. They was big, but the orcs were way bigger than the human sized people. And then they had the dwarves, and the dwarves were smaller than the regular people. The elves was taller than the regular people, and then there was the wizards who was taller than everybody. You mean like the children of the angels, because their fathers taught their mothers magic. Okay? And you got to think. Adam had a branch from out of the garden, and we know for a fact that that is the same wand, that is the same staff, whatever you want to call it, that had magical powers. We know this for a fact because it's the same one that Moses used to strike the rock. I believe Abraham had it, and Elisha and Elijah both had that staff, and that was Adam's staff. We read that. We know that. So it's very interesting to see that the people that were doing magic also had a wooden staff with a crystal on top of it. That now Adam's didn't have no crystal on it. I don't think it was just a piece, but it was magical because it came out of the garden. Okay, we don't know how long he had that staff. What if he had that staff for 1,000 years? Well, then that is where we get the old, white-haired, cloaked man that's been around, that's seen all of the generations, that knows all the people, because people were living, again, evil people were living 900 years too. It wasn't just the Israelites and the Hebrews that was living that long. Asia had people that were living 900 years. Everywhere, everybody was living 6, 7, 8, 900 years. So if you're an evil person, how many spells can you write in 900 years? How many different techniques, and kingdoms and all of this different, like, it was so, reading it, and I mean watching it yesterday, and then just thinking about some different stuff. It was real good. It was real good. Real good. Hold on one second, y'all. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I turn right to the page. Here we go. Now look. In the movie, yesterday, there go thieves, right? You see Athens at the top of there? Right? In the movie, they was talking about the Athenians. Okay? In the movie, they was talking about the Athenians. Like, it's right there, but you got to listen and even stop and look at the names, because they playing in our face. Real good. They playing in our face real good. You heard me? For real. I just wanted to let you know, sis. I'm in a funeral, but I just wanted to let the family know I love you. We'll watch class. Okay, well, get out of class. You in a funeral? I told you don't take me to church. Sorry to hear for y'all lost. Get us out of here. Log in. At a funeral? Jesus. Goodness. I mean, telling y'all don't take us into the church. I don't know what I'm going to say. Got me cussing in church and stuff. Goodness gracious. Do y'all love me or not? I don't know if y'all love me or not. Quit taking me in. You know I'm liable to say something I ain't got no business. Log out. So, when y'all get time, just take a look in here, honey. It's some amazing information in here. I'm gonna read a little bit of this and then we gonna go on to something else. Y'all right over here? Is y'all okay? Yes. Okay. It says, facing the Pillars of Hercules was an island larger than Africa and Europe put together. Besides this main island, there were many other smaller ones, so that it was easy to cross from one to another, as far as the further continent. This land was indeed a continent, and the sea was the real ocean in comparison to the sea of the Greeks. The Greeks was but a bay with a narrow mouth. In the Atlantic island, a powerful federation of kings was formed, who subdued the larger island itself and many of the smaller islands, and also parts of the further continent. They also reduced Africa within the straits as far as Egypt, and Europe as far as Tyrrhenia. Further aggression, however, was stopped by the heroic action of the then inhabitants of Attica, who take the lead of the oppressed states, finally secured liberty to all who dwelt within the Pillars of Hercules. Subsequently, both races were destroyed by mighty cataclysms, which brought destruction in a single day and night. The natural features of the Attic land were entirely changed, and the Atlantic island sank bodily beneath the waves. In the center of the Atlantic island was a fair and beautiful plain. In the center of this plain, nearly 6 miles from its confines, was a low range of hills. Here dwelt for many generations the renowned race of Atlan, from whom the whole island and sea were named Atlantic or Atlantis. The ruling kings ever handed down the succession of power to their eldest sons, their younger sons going into the priesthood. They were possessed of such wealth as no dynasty ever yet obtained, and will easily procure after. This wealth was drawn both from all foreign nations with whom the Atlanteans traded, and from Atlantis itself, which was especially rich in minerals and possessed the only known mines of orichalcum, orichalcum. I think that's like orichalcum, something like that, in the world, a mineral with the most wonderful and inexhaustible properties. I don't know why I can't see. A metal which was then second only to gold in its value. Interesting. Now, the Atlanteans had the same technology, or even more technology, than Egypt. And God destroyed them. Or made them into the water people. One of the two. Because you have to know that somebody is, I gotta find the page in there, but it talks about, because there's castles and stuff down there. There's everything down there. Well, think about this. What if they was already the people that was mating with the animals? Because it was giants after the flood. It was giants. We know this for a fact. It was giants after the flood. We know this for a fact. So, I'm thinking, you got to think, if they were, because if nothing is new under the sun, that means they had submarines back then, which meant they could have just dived deeper into the ocean. I mean, Dad did pass out very fitting judgments on fines and fees to everyone who wanted to do what they wanted to do. He did. Especially when they got to call themselves God and messing with technology. Somebody shared a post of, oh boy, what's his name? Mr. Darby, Pastor Darby. And see if I can find it. Seriously? Hold on 1 second, y'all. I promise the videos I be sharing, they don't be reposting them or whatever. I don't really know. Because how is it that I can't find it now?
The fallen angels that in Genesis 6 taught
This ain't
men
it, but
how to splice and mix DNA. You know, one of the fallen angels that in Genesis 6 taught men how to splice and mix DNA. This is where this is why God destroyed the earth, because they was mixing animal DNA with man DNA and coming up with these creatures. They called them chimeras, creatures, and they was mixing them all together. And this is why God destroyed the world with the flood of Noah. Now, and it's funny how everything's in Genesis 6, but it seems like somebody just rushed over that. Who decided not to put the book of Enoch in that explained it? I tell you who, the Catholic Church. They the one did it. They left out a lot of books. The Bible could have more books. They left out them books. All the books that's pointing to these watches and fallen angels, which is what's coming back in the end, they left it out. And that's why we think it's something that's new. That's why Jesus said when they say that Christ is in the desert, don't go. Because it's not new. Satan must deceive you with lying wonders to make you think that the power you're seeing is some great power. But we don't
Stephen
realize
Darby.
It's occult power that witches know about. Witches always knew about this power.
Stephen Darby. Pastor Stephen Darby.
A few people have ability to fly like witches do. They have power that witches know about. Witches always knew about this power. Because it's not new. Satan must deceive you with lying wonders to make you think that the power you're seeing is some great power, but we don't realize it's the old occult power that witches know about. Witches always knew about this power. A few people have ability to fly like witches do. Yeah, witches fly. Go to Africa, witches stand there and disappear and be gone. They got that power already. They walk around with charms on their waist. It's red charms on their waist. These are y'all ever heard of Boko Haram? The one that kidnapped the Nigerian girls? Do you know why they can't catch them? Because they're all witches. I've been to Nigeria. I know exactly. I've been there 4 times. I know who they're talking about. Those are witches. When they come to church, they come in there with them red things on, and all of a sudden the power of God hit them, and they start confessing who they really are.
Still don't think it's important to understand magic. You heard what that man said. Same thing I've been saying. Church folks always talking about what they don't know. Everybody else know it. Everybody else understand the power of the enemy and how real it is and how strong it is and how it really works. The Bible didn't say kill every witch for no reason. It's so mind-blowing to me that Christians, I don't need to know nothing about that. So then you won't even know if you're doing it. Which is why I'm here. And this is why we go through the books that we do, and the symbol books, and the names, and all of that stuff, so people can even understand. They got eyes, but they don't see. They got ears, but they don't hear. The fact that every single Disney place that we went to, and it really makes me think about even watching Stargate, it's making me think about that them really is portals and so many people come up missing in them parks. It makes so much sense, y'all. It makes so much sense. And then people that have been on the Disney Channel and go through, they're never the same when they come out of that world. Never. Look at Amanda Bynes and people like this that was on Nickelodeon and stuff like that. They're never the same. If they start out a child star, think about it. Child star. Why don't they just call them child actors? We know what that star represents. We know what it means to be a rising star. We know that. All of them. All of them. Even the ones from back when I was little. The dudes that played in the Goonies and all of them, they was messed up. All of them. So understanding, and this is why I'm grateful that God allowed us to go through how we've been able to go through the Bible, picking it apart piece by piece, and we still have so much more to go. Of course, we don't have a lot of time left, but we still have so much more to go. But I'm grateful that God has given us the time to be able to search out the scripture and search the word. Because think about it. There is so much information in the 66 that leads us to the rest of the books. That, and remember when we first started doing this, and I used to ask y'all, who is they? When they used to say, if they wanted the Bible, who is they? If they wanted these books in the Bible, they would have. I said, who is they? When God is telling me to seek out all knowledge, and these stories are not complete, who is they? You didn't say if God wanted it in there. You said if they wanted it. Who is the they? Who is they? They is the Catholic Church. They is the people that have the truth. They are the people that do rituals behind closed doors and have people praying to a cross that's upside down and they don't even know who, with fish gods on their hats and on their symbols and stuff. Do you realize, even just talking with this, that the Egyptians, the Atlanteans, and the Romans all have the same religion? Okay? You hear me? Girl, you are supposed to be out of class. Out. We'll see you later. Catch the rewatch. Get us out of church. Out. Out, out, out. No. I'll be right back. sorry, y'all. Okay. So this is why it's very important for us to understand. Now, the cool thing about God is He has, because ain't nothing happened, you know, by coincidence. So yes, TV can be horrible, but TV also can be a learning tool as well, especially if you know what you're looking for. Because even when I was watching a little bit of Stargate, the second episode of the first season or whatever that I was watching, they portaled into Egypt, ancient Egypt. Did y'all see that? They went through the portal and went to ancient Egypt. Everybody over there, they had their hair locked, they had, you know, whatever. They portaled into ancient Egypt. And remember, I told y'all, ancient Egypt used to be very lush. It was not always sand everywhere. Remember, it was marshes, and it used to be very, very lustrous. There was fruit trees and all kind of everything. They always want to make it seem like Egypt has always been sand. Egypt used to be a beautiful garden as well. It has not always been just sand. There was parts of it that had beautiful gardens, beautiful lush, and then something happened, probably like the flood. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. All right. I was about to say, don't have us in the church. Okay. But do you see what I'm saying? So remember when we were talking about too, putting the pieces together, and instead of only reading African, I wonder if that was the big transition that hit here when Joseph got there. I don't know. But this is why I said we have to go read about the other myths and all of these things, because just like in Stargate, they said that's funny. And they keep saying this in all the shows playing in our face. Everything that everybody think is myth is not myth. It's real. They told us the human hybrids were only myths, and now they're making them. They told us giants were myths, and now they're showing up. Mermaids, fairies. They told us none of this stuff existed, but how is it that we're seeing it with our own eyes and it's not AI? Make it make sense. Hello? So all the people that have been painted crazy were probably telling the truth about what they saw. But because they have made the world believe that it's myth, then they say, oh, that person is crazy. When they say they saw a being, or they saw a centaur, or they saw a half goat man with horns and it was talking to them, and then it vanished. Oh, okay, well, if witches can still vanish now, and the magic is real and it really works, because in Lord of the Rings, Lord of the Rings, in the King Returns, or either in the Twin Towers, I can't remember which one it was, the Two Towers, one of the kings was possessed by the spirit of another wizard, and he was dying. Remember? If y'all watch that, I think it's the Twin Towers or the King Returns, one of them. I don't remember which one, but he was possessed, and when the good wizard came, why can I not think of nobody's name? Gandalf came. He exorcised the other witch out of him. I mean, the other warlock out of him. Do y'all remember that? The king was sitting there and he was like dying. He was aging very, 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 very quickly. It was like something was sucking the life out of him. Well, when Gandalf came, he said, leave him now, or whatever. And I think he like put his thing towards him, and the other wizard got thrown out of the man's body. Well, instantly the man's body, his face started to clear up. He didn't look 90 years old. He was young again. So having two entities in that body was sucking that man dry. Deliverance on the main screen, Mari. But think about, if you read He Can't Accept the Captives Free, remember the witch astral projected her body into Elaine and was talking to Rebecca? Remember? The witches kept they kept astral projecting because she had an open door still. And remember, Rika? You remember Miss Howard? Okay. What do y'all think they be doing in Hollywood? They show us all the time that they switch bodies in all the Disney movies. Not only do they switch their bodies into people, they switch their bodies into animals. It's a new movie coming out about a girl. Okay. It's a new Disney movie coming out about how a girl went into an animal. Conjuring spirits for their roles. Listen. And we know that they can bring the souls up because they did. The Witch of Endor did it. Think about when people conjure spirits, Mari, just like you said, and it starts to speak through the medium. Isn't that the same thing? That body is then holding two spirits. The spirit of the person, and then and you always know in a movie because the person's eyes will roll back and then they come and the voice change and everything. They looking differently and all of this kind of stuff. It's the grandma, whoever it was that they was trying to contact. So we know for a fact from the Bible, it says that a witch has the ability to bring up a dead spirit. And it was the actual Samuel and not a demon. Not just familiar spirits, but no, the Bible says that they called up the spirit of the prophet. And his shade showed up. And he said, don't worry about it, because I got one more prophecy for you. You and your sons will be here with me where I'm at in this place until we done. Go look up the Witch of Endor and see, read it for yourself. Somebody find it for me, please, and post it. It's just Google Samuel Shade. You said yes, just like the Ouija board and crystal balls, exactly. But where the scripture at about Samuel Shade? She was able to do it. And again, in Wheel of Time, there's a place called Endor, and I believe in The Hobbit that Mordor is probably Endor. Mordor is probably Endor. They just changed the name of it. Because if you look at it, was an evil eye above Mordor in the movie, right? And then they had a pillar, 1 Samuel, where King Saul consults the medium, to summon the spirit or shade of Samuel. Here we go. So this witch in the first half of the Bible had the ability to bring up the prophet's shade from wherever it was. In the magicians, when they brought their shade back from Hades, they can come back to life. Okay. Acting can get real weird. The industry in general, all of their alter egos are a second personality. This part, Justice. So this is what I believe. I believe in my heart exactly what that giant book that says that the Golden Quill writers have all of the books. And that is what the writers of these movies and these books get. They get the Golden Quill Award. They're just reading the old stories and changing the names, y'all. That's it. The more that I see this, because, yep, actors call up spirits to play that character. Come on. Hello. And most times they're doing it when the person is dead, not alive. Very few people play a person while they're alive. Right? They don't normally make a movie about the person until after they're dead. Why they don't make it while they old? They can make it while they're still alive. I mean, you don't think that they should come and talk about it? Why do they always only do it after they're dead? Dude from Snowfall conjured the devil to get ready for this part. He thought he was pure evil. Wow. Just like the psychologist mentor when he was writing his book on evil. Exactly. They don't want to give the royalties. That part. That part. Hey, listen. Ain't this crazy, y'all, though, to think about? When you just go and you look at it? You don't think so? That it's interesting to see? And the guy who played Joker in the Batman movie then died. Exactly. How many times do actors say they had embodied their... Shada! They embodied the character. Yep. She is in our OTP too. They've been playing in our face. Just raise your hand if you think they've been playing in our face the whole time. Just raise your hand just a little bit. Give a church hand raise like the snake did all the begging. Listen. Was the medium able to conjure Samuel because it was before Christ died and conquered in hell? No, because it was before Christ, but they still being they conjure right now. They still conjuring, and magic still works the same way it did back then. It has not changed. You got to remember, magic is in heaven, but men was never supposed to have it. Humans were never supposed to have it. That's when it became witchcraft. I forget the actor that it was. Some of them have to go to therapy after roles to detach themselves from the role. They have to They have to get deliverance ministry to get the demon out because they don't want to be out, or the human soul because they've been dead and all they feel is cold and whatnot. Makes sense. Yeah. And because we don't go searching, and because we think everything is just entertainment, that's why we don't know. But that's why I told you, when I watch movies, it's like watching a documentary for me. I'm looking up stuff. I'm looking at the background. I'm looking at the symbols on their clothes. I'm looking at everything. This part, Steph. This. Mm-hmm. Unless they get the recipe or technique wrong, then it don't work. Just like our doctors and some chefs, cough, cough. This part. The movie Get Out. Exactly. Disney shows us they got a gazillion movies where somebody's spirit was cast into somebody else. They tell us, even in the kid movies. Orlando told us, didn't he? He said, that's not really them, that's such and such. That's not such and such, that's Whitney Houston. When they sign them contracts, some of those people sign lifelong contracts, right? Now think about the music industry. When you sign a contract, they say on earth and out of earth, or I can't remember the exact language, right? I know demons and familiar spirits were still being conjured, but didn't think it applied to the souls of people just trying. Oh, yeah, it does. Sorry. Yeah, it does. But think about this. They said into eternity. Like when they signed some of them contracts, remember we was looking at that right before the whole music record label stuff. Think about this. If you sign your soul over to Satan, right? Until the world ends, that means he still has control over your soul, right? So what if that is a part life and thereafter? So what if that is a part of that where you are forced to then go and live inside of another person's body and still work even after your death? Is this why stars and stuff start to look sunk in? Because they're walking around not just with evil spirits, but an actual human soul. Rika, think about that. Even in death. Maybe that's why he have them put that little lingo in there. Because he knows he's going to use another star to embody them. So they still in slavery to him. Girl. And maybe that's why the new stars always get picked to play them. Right? But then it's a whole nother cycle of it. Doing whatever you want to do with the soul. Think about it. Because energy don't end. It just finds a new space. Hello. And why are they finding multiple pictures of different artists and actors in the early 1900s looking exactly the same? This. Okay, and let me ask you a question. Taraji said she allowed different spirits to take over her body in different acting roles. Okay. Now think about this, y'all. God said that he was only going to give man 120 years. Man. Giants are not technically all human. Some of those beings are technically not all human. He said he was going to give man humans. What about the beings that mix with angels? The giants. How long do they live? Because they're not considered man. Think about it. He said man. He didn't say nothing else about Nephilim. He said man. Humans. There could be some stuff here that might have been here for over 500 years. We don't know. And he said upon the earth, not in it. Think about some of the people in the indigenous lands of like China. These people live to be 146 years old, but they also have abilities that don't nobody else have. We know for a fact that they can change. I mean, if a witch can make herself disappear and appear, They showed us in several movies like Sinners, Immortals. Here we go. Excuse me. You said my toes about to pop off. Think about it. And we know vampires is real. Hello. We know witches can fly. We know they can conjure spirits. I mean, think about it. Martial arts masters, come on. That's able to fly off a building and land and do stuff that move quicker. Come on. What about the African people that we see and the brooms be spinning by themselves? And they go up and they said they own strings and ain't no strings. And they are floating and dancing in the air. They start to levitate. What about that? What about the lady with the goat legs that everybody kept saying, oh, that's a joke, that's a joke? I said, nigga, that's real. Remember? Right when I went viral, it was talking about that. David Blaine and all these other people too. Think about it. The lady cheated and she was sitting there crying because she had them goat legs. And everybody kept saying, well, then how did the man get them too then? In a whole different part. One of them was in Haiti. One of them was somewhere in Africa. Make it make sense. If you think about Maleficent, Chris Angel, think about Maleficent. Where was them bird people living? Oh. And in Cuba and in Puerto Rico, they got the witch ladies that come down and swoop people up and take them away. Beowulf, come on. Listen now. And in 1900, they said that it was a place up in Mexico, in the Mexican mountains, where the people that lived there have lived there and no white people had ever been up there. The Yaquis have information that in 1900 that no one else had. It says that they had a perfect record of Atlantis in 1900. They're living in giant cities. Who else is up there with them? They living in a giant city in the mountains that makes Mexico City look like a peon. Who is living up? Who built it? Slabs several tons? Who? In a Colorado mountain range. Hello? Yuma, Arizona. Plenty of people come up missing in Yuma. We don't know what's up there. What they say, only how much of our world has been discovered? 40%? Ain't that what they told us? God said he was gonna give humans 120. Hello. And whenever they make the movies about them finding a temple, when they get in there, it's something that's been living in there the whole time. Alive. Snakes and if it's covered off from how was them snakes in there living? Who feeding them? Hello. If you look at the bricks on the Hobbit and the buildings, if you look at the bricks in the Hobbit on the buildings and on the castles, they look exactly like Jerusalem, Egypt, ancient Asia. Look at how big them bricks are. Look at how small the people look in comparison. And And in the Return of the King, if I'm not mistaken, that's the one. The dinosaurs was there. The dinosaurs, they was there. They was flying on them. Remember I said, how was they flying? And we looked at all of them different things, and it said they flew. Well, even in the New Testament, when Peter and them was going, it said they flew. Why didn't it say they ran or traveled? It said they flew. In the beginning of the Bible, in the second half, it said they flew. How was they flying? And if ain't nothing new under the sun, they showed us in Avatar that they used to use the dinosaurs to fly. They showed us in The Hobbit that they used to use the dinosaurs to fly. And we know for a fact the dinosaurs was here when Adam and them was here. So could that be how they was getting taken up in a dust wind? Because we already know that the Catholic Church changed the Bible and took certain things out. Is this how they was flying? Because it was flying beast at that time. Now, don't forget to go look at the hieroglyphs. It literally shows dinosaurs there. In Egypt, everywhere. In Asia, even in... I done showed y'all this a few times, but let's go back. This India. This is India. Hello. I didn't know that they had a demoniac in their story too. You see that? The demoniac taking shelter in insatiable lust, pride, false prestige, and being thus illusioned are always sworn to unclean work, attracted by the impermanent. They don't have stuffed dinosaurs with wings for no reason. This. The blue people with multiple arms. Me and my son was just talking about this the other day because what was I reading? I was reading in the story of Atlantis, I believe. Excuse me. Now, if you watched what's the name? The elephants was in that War of the Two King, the Return of the King, or either the two what's the names? They got the green folks, they got the flying people. Interesting. Blue folks. Now, if you watch the Stargate, that show, it's some blue people in there too. I noticed that they tried to make them look dirty, but in Stargate, those people are supposed to be blue. Did y'all pay attention to that? When they go to whatever that little place is called, the people, if you look at them when they was fighting, they look blue. Like in Dinotopia, the people lived as one with the dinosaurs. Yep. Yep. If you go watch Stargate, the people, they give them a blue hue to their skin. So the people in Avatar was blue. The people in Egypt was blue. The people in India was blue. Um, the Smurfs is blue. Okay, they keep telling you all over the place, all over the place. They keep telling you. I just been thinking like, dang. Um, wasn't there blue people in the King Kong movie that were indigenous? Was it? I don't know, but I wouldn't be surprised. I just saw the new Jurassic Park yesterday. Dinos are definitely dragons. Yep. Yeah. Yep. I don't know. I'm gonna have to watch it. The indigenous people was blue. Happy birthday, Pumpkin. Happy birthday. What y'all doing? Y'all turning up today? Neat. Y'all turning up? The creatures in Lilo and Stitch are blue. The creatures in Lilo and Stitch are blue. Y'all, it's our niece's birthday. Is you 24? You almost grown. Look, she almost grown. Is you 24? 23? How old is you today? It's our niece's birthday, y'all. Happy birthday, Sugarfoot. 25. You 25? Oh, you almost grown then. Well, come on in. She almost grown, y'all. Look at it. You got you a few more years. You said thank you at 25. Okay. Oh, shoot. Almost. She almost grown. You said I'm grown. Like, baby. You got a few more years. I thought I was grown at 25 too. Get to 35. You'll realize. Listen, 25, you still got a little bit. You is still a thunder kitten, girl. Come on in. Get about 5 more years. So then you'll be a thundercat. Well, 10, technically. Nah, happy birthday, baby. I hope y'all have some good food today. Eat some good food for your TT, please. Eat some good food. Listen, I hope you have a good. She said, I'm grown. Listen, that's like, I'm a big girl. I'm a big girl. But listen, yes. So, all I want to know is what y'all gonna do when we get to seeing these things. Now that we know that this is all real, what y'all gonna do? You said hit a mean stanky leg for us. I'm talking about turn up, please. Yeah, somebody gotta have some fun around here. Your cousin went out. Thank you. You are. You are special to us. You are, Pumpkin. Yeah. Yes, y'all are very special. Listen, we happy to. You said I'm gonna just go to sleep. I'm done. That baby said I'm going to pass out. I mean, but think about it. We literally are getting ready to see some of this stuff, y'all. It's spooky, but it's cool. It's like I don't really know how to. Right, Tasman. Listen. We about to do it. We about to do it. Pray and try to fight back in the name of the Lord. Because, whoo, listen. Now, think about this now. This is on another subject. But did y'all see they about to cut all these people off of Medicaid? You said, I need to watch How to Train Your Dragon this. Man says, eyes gonna be bucked. But gotta stay on the move. Listen. Did y'all see that? Did y'all see that they're also turning off the emergency alerts? I saw they gave up the medical information to ICE too. Yep. 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 They gave all the kids medical information. Because like they said, immigrants don't be having medical insurance. So y'all didn't give up immigrant information. You gave up citizen information. Because immigrants can't get no insurance. This I know. We can barely get it. So whose information did y'all give up? Y'all gave up citizen information. Mm-hmm. And now ain't gonna be no emergency alerts. You said, and they're chipping all the babies at birth? Interesting. Interesting. They have defunded most of the emergency hotlines. Come on, auntie. But we have a daddy that keep us on point, don't he? Don't he? Speaking of which, I know y'all probably already got one. This is going in our kit. Lord Jesus, help me. I took it out. They got these on sale on Amazon for $17. This is going in a kit that we're giving away. We're going to give away one kit. It ain't very much, but it's something. Okay. And it's going to have a couple of those water bags in it. Some water tablets, this, and a hoodie. Okay. These are $17 on Amazon right now. The red one. Now the other ones is $29, and they got different prices, but this specific one, running snail, is $17 and I think 89 cents or something like that. But
keep up with. So imagine having somebody there to have your back and kind of help you out with the maintenance of the house. And when you look at everything, they talk about an ounce of maintenance is worth a pound of cure, and that's...
It's got AM, FM, and weather broadcast on it too. The WB is for weather broadcast, FM, and then AM. At the hospital, I've seen a lot. It's not working because the retirement funds are out and medical help is gone. It's so sad. I believe it. Okay? And so, it's solar powered, and it's got the crank. Only $17, y'all. And you can charge your phone. I know some of y'all already got them. But if you don't, it's solar and crank. It's got the places in the back where you can charge your phone. Okay? Or a device or whatever you need to now. I don't know for how long and all of that, but this is better than nothing. Because it's got the weather broadcast on here. I'm guessing for emergencies. But seeing as how he's trying to cut that, we don't know what we're going to have.
From a biblical perspective, updated on a regular basis as stories come out. Also, other live programming that you will find only on the Stand Firm app, and you will have access to my daily devotional, Stand on the Word. So go to the App Store, get the Stand Firm app. Earlier today, the National Education Association Charter Repeal Act was introduced in Congress to address the out-of-control wokeness of the nation's only congressionally chartered educational labor union. The bill was introduced shortly after the NEA held their annual meeting in Portland, Oregon earlier this month. We talked about this yesterday. And, nothing to do with education, all about their woke DEI ideology that they're pushing on the children and the nation. So how does that charter empower the union to miseducate our children? And what does it mean to remove that charter? Joining me now, Congressman Mark Harris of North Carolina.
Say you racist without saying you racist. You just did. I just be wondering what all these folks, what is they gonna do on Judgment Day? Do you hear me? What is you gonna do when you see that Jesus is black? And then when y'all got to be trying to, oh, Jesus, I feel bad for them. I really do. I really feel bad for them. I really do. The people that think they doing the right thing, the devil got their mind so blinded, and maybe that's why a lot of them gonna melt away in shame, baby. Because the very people you mistreated is the very people that the Savior looked just like. You said you hate black folks, people of color. Ooh, what you gonna do when Jesus show up? What you gonna do? Sucks for you. And you see, they're taking people's money, they're taking people's land, they're taking people's family, they're taking everything so that it's hard for them to survive. Do you realize they're gonna be hungry forever? They're gonna have to see his face. Listen, that you said they're gonna have this face exactly. That's them ones that think they was doing God's justice. Listen, they're gonna be hungry forever. What they doing now? Taking away people's food. They're gonna be thirsty. Read about them in the scriptures. Look, they're gonna be thirsty. They're taking away clean water from other people, right? It's gonna be hard to breathe because it's so smoky and all of this kind of stuff. Oh, they're taking away the clean air from people right now. They are taking people's land. You only gonna have a very small space to be in, or you're not gonna be able to move around. Do you understand? You're gonna have hunger pains forever. See, we just gonna be hungry on this side. We might not have clean air for a little bit. We might not have clean water for a little bit. But this is going to be your lot. See, and it's how you don't care about taking it away from nobody. Every single thing that these rich folks and these billionaires and trillionaires think they doing, we going to have to experience it for a short while. We will. But they going to have to experience it for a long time. Bronze feet was definitely a big giveaway. Listen. And Daddy said, you going to... gonna say you didn't feed my people, you took from them. Here we go. Sucks for them. You just didn't care about nobody but yourself. If you look at what we read about in the places of torment and then look at what people are doing today, does the crime not fit the punishment? The crime fits the punishment. Everything that you did, but see, you're gonna have to deal with it longer, and those same COs is gonna be cackling in your face, and it ain't no mercy on that side. It ain't no, okay, I changed my mind, I'm gonna do right. It's up and it's stuck. It's up and it's stuck. That ain't coming down. That's scary. And all you had to do was give out a plate and not try to be greedy and take everything for yourself. Not hate other people because you don't got no melanin in your skin. And eternal barbecue, that part. That's the scary part, that you're stuck that way for eternity. This. Spooky. See, they think they winning now, but they don't know they don't got very much time. You know what I thought about too? With Enoch and Elijah getting ready to show up, that's probably why they about to try to mess with all this internet stuff. Changing social, because TikTok allowed us to get stuff in real time. Now they playing with our FYPs, because I don't be seeing hardly nothing no more. They, like, I used to see everything about overseas and stuff. Now I literally have to search for it, and if it is, it's the same videos. Give us our stuff back, because they stole it out anyway. No offense, just true. Yeah, did. But think about this. Mar-a-Lago don't compare to what I pray he let me in, and we gonna get to live in a place better than Mar-a-Lago forever. Everybody gonna have a Mar-a-Lago in heaven. Better than Mar-a-Lago. And y'all remember what happened to old boy? Herod that thought he was when he thought it was funny killing all them people, him and his homeboys was all. You can tell Trump ain't never read the Book of Nicodemus. And that man over there, this line talking about he's a Hebrew. That other man. You could tell they ain't read it. Because if people in power, if they read the Book of Nicodemus, they wouldn't act the way that they do. People that are in management, in a position of power, they wouldn't act the way they do if they read Nicodemus. Because our ancestors were disobedient. That's true. No, Auntie, he can't. But I'm just saying, right. Ain't nobody ever read it to him either, Auntie. Ain't nobody ever read it to him. Because if he knew what happened to Herod, he probably wouldn't be doing all that he's doing. But you know what else it made me think about? Look how that man's body is breaking down. We just talked about he doesn't strike me as a reader or anything other than articles about himself. That part. But think about it. Look how his body is breaking down. He has to walk around in his own poop and pee vial. You hear me? You hear me? His body is breaking down. You see what the devil do to you? He don't want nobody to live because he dying. You don't know if Trump can eat real food or not. I mean, he put on a show, but do you ever really see him eating anything? That man might be on you don't know what's going on with him. He has to sit in his own fecal matter and urine all day. Okay. The literal reference of pissy or itty. Gotta wear makeup to even look alive. And was laughing and talking about Biden when he was going through his medical issues. Then you see Obama. Hitting threes on him. Running down the court. Skin glistening, looking all just beautiful. Hello. You said his situation reminds me of that movie Death Becomes Her. This. They got to paint that man some color on so he don't look like he belong on Twilight. Obama is fine as wine. Show is. That's why his mom be looking at him like that. That man he wears a diaper all day. He got a catheter, so he's constantly peeing on himself. Y'all know he basically smell like a nursing home all day. And not the good kind. You said he has chronic venous insufficiency. Well, if you was playing with your veins a lot when you was young, I mean, that could be a thing. Car wash was spray this. He did a lot of speed back in the day, they said. Just crazy. Just crazy. You hear me? You hear me? Just crazy. I'll be right back, y'all. Give me 1 second. I've been trying to do this too instead of soda. Right? Because soda has so much salt in it. You said it smells like a sewage plant. I know my mama and my daddy used to work in a nursing home. Yeah. You said, yeah. Everybody always got their face. Y'all see people always sit very far away from him. You don't never really see nobody sitting right close to him. They always be at least 2 or 3 feet away from him. Sometimes more than that. That's Sterling Gray Fox with the toned senior muscles gone daddy Barack. I'm trying to tell you. And how old is Barack? Is Barack 70? I think him and my mama's close. How old is Barack? I don't even know how old he is. 60 something, 70? How old is he? Excuse me. Probably gonna look like that the day he died. Brings back my CNA days. I know my mama, that's why she got OCD. Her and my daddy. He's 63. He's 60. Also, he younger than my mama. Gone, Barack. Oh. I got a baby daddy 60. Yeah. Oh, that's all you have to say. I think my baby daddy and Barack about the same age then. Two of them, matter of fact. Didn't know. Did not know he'll be 64. Oh, okay. Yeah. My baby daddy is about that age. Show it. That's how you. I think they might be older than Barack. Yeah. Didn't know. Got a baby daddy born in 61 and one born in 66. Clock it. I sure do. Oh, yeah, I don't fool. Oh, never mind. No. Well, yeah. That's all you had to say. That's all you had to say. That's why that man looked like that. Now I have a question. Auntie, I need you to answer it for me. Is Michelle Obama transgender? Did she grow up in Chicago? Is she transgender or not? Please tell me. Because I'm so confused. I don't know for sure. But I know most of the leaders, they be in the same kind of relationships as Nero. Auntie? Did you go to school with them or know somebody that did? Like, because they can fake pictures, Auntie. I really need to know, Auntie. Do you know? Like, old girl Macron? She's beautiful, but I mean, Auntie, like, I'm not going to answer. Auntie, can you tell us? Do anybody know? Because most of the leaders, that's what they do. That's been a thing for years. It ain't nothing new. He's called him, her, and my Michael a lot of times. Right. Tell us, Auntie. She has a ton of pictures around Whitney Young High School. She's definitely a girl on those pictures. She wasn't really cute then. Auntie, it was still boys that was, because you know they be picked from the beginning. You said on the Ellen show you can see her manhood. Because it was, I mean, look at El DeBarge and them. It was pretty niggas back then, Auntie. It's always been pretty niggas around. I mean, I don't know. Did anybody see her pregnant? And that ain't nothing, because look at Beyonce. She faked the belly too. I just need to know. Or maybe he's really in a relationship with the brother. And she is the lavender marriage. Joe says stop it. Okay, I'm going to leave it alone. What if it's a lavender marriage? And the brother is really the... Could that be a thing? You said she did IVF. They were no co-ed locker rooms back then. She played sports. Okay. Okay, so she is a woman. But what if she's intersex then? She could be intersex, auntie. Y'all think she might be intersex? So what if she's intersex? Then could that be a thing? Cause it's not like they would tell us that. I mean, and back then, you had to go as a girl or a boy, right? You got undressed, but if you know what I mean. What if she's intersex? And if she did do IVF, maybe that's why it was hard for her to get pregnant or a child. Right. That's what I'm thinking. Right. That's what I'm thinking. If anything, that's probably what it is. You said she's 100% woman. Kim, how you know? You seen her Tucci cat? Maybe she's just intersex and we don't. I mean, because intersex people sometimes do have problems conceiving. Because I didn't see the bulge too. You think Sierra was born like that too? Right. And I'm not saying yes or no. I'm just saying it's a possibility. Obama is an excellent public speaker. He ain't making that kind of mistake over and over again. Right. Because it's some not transgender. It's some intersex people, not trans, intersex people that lived their whole life as a man and then found out that they had ovaries and they became the woman. And it's not that they transitioned even. It's who they are. In her documentary. But you didn't see her Tucci cat in her documentary, Punky. It's plenty of people that be intersex and you wouldn't even know. I'm going to say not transgender or not used to be a man. I'm going to say maybe she's intersex. That's what I'm going to give with that. Because I seen the Pope too. I seen it in several different outfits. I seen it. And they didn't, I mean, she walking out on Ellen. So we gonna say intersex because we didn't see the Pope more than one time in the green jumpsuit and all of that. And some labias are extra large, but I don't know. I mean, not that it's any of our business, but it's interesting. I would say, if anything, she's probably intersex. If that is the case where there's something going on there, we just gonna take intersex. Well, I'm gonna take intersex. I don't know what y'all gonna do. I'm gonna say intersex. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. That's the only thing I can think of. The green jumpsuit. You synced it? I don't even know how we got over here. How did we even get over here? How do we do our classes go from one end to the other, don't they? We started out with Atlantis. And now we all the way over here at Obama and intersex. I don't know. It just be a whole bunch of stuff. So You said, nah, just who wears a green jumpsuit? Auntie, I do. I got a green jumpsuit right now. Most of my jumpsuits have been green. Green and black, Auntie. We always turning corners. Girl, can't stay nowhere too long, don't. Oh, yeah. We was talking about how handsome Obama is. You right. Well, so let me ask you a question, and I ask this often. We're going to ask it again today. Who's excited about the things that God has allowed us to deep dive into, and how it helps us see the world completely different from how maybe we saw it for 50, 40, 30, 20 years? Anybody? Because to read that the ancient Egyptians, which we knew, but to read a book from 1901 where didn't know, and to go over there and see that the ancient Egyptians are still living in Mexico right now under the name of the Yaquis. Just crazy, right? And for my son to know them. And it says that they only go to Mexico City. They won't go nowhere else. Okay. Anybody heard of Jalisco? They mentioned Jalisco in here. I like their ice cream. Jalisco. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna read this part. Auntie. That's where they at. Yeah. It says, Dr. Laplangian, in his remarkable work Queen Mu and the Egyptian Sphinx, gives 4 Maya accounts of the same cataclysm. This then is the 5th, and in his own opinion, the most important of all the known records of the Maya language, of the appalling event that gave rise to the story of the universal deluge that is found in the sacred books of the Jews, the Christians, and the Mohammedans. These records on stone, on sun-dried bricks, on papyrus, all tell the same story. The little we know of the Aztecs is also confirmatory of the same fact. Whence came the people of South America with their advanced civilization and traditions of the past? So they were an advanced civilization and they had the traditions of the past. What mighty people built the great cities and temples of the now forest-covered cities of the Yucatan and Central America, with their carved hieroglyphs and correspondences to the hieroglyphs of the Valley of the Nile and the East Indian entablatures, and moreover, almost precisely similar styles of architecture to those of Egypt and India. Is it reasonable to suppose that there was no common bond of fellowship between all these? The ancient Egyptians' ideas have dominated the world down to the present day. Instead of a mummy case, we use a coffin for our dead. The idea is the same. The departed ghost was to be saved the trouble of making a new body, perhaps a short notice at the great day of resurrection. And then I read that to you all about how the Mayans, the people of Atlantis, and then all of these other nationalities all had the same belief system. You don't think that's crazy? We said, mi amigas, hey, Liz. Listen, Jalisco. Well, excuse me. It's Our Story of Atlantis. It's called Our Story. You can download it for free too on archive.org or .com. And it was written in 1901 or 1903. And they know exactly where it is. They lie, but they know exactly where it is. They done found all of the temples. And guess what else? That's why they trying to get into Mexico, in certain parts of Mexico, because they want the mines, because the money is hidden in there. Peleg's silver mine and different peoples, which is exactly why Og's Den, okay, And all of these different places are named after the Mesopotamian giants. See, this is why when you travel, you have to go with someone that wants to go so you can go exploring and not just sit around. I love Mexico. Auntie, I wish I could have met you back 10 years ago when I was still funky fresh and ready to go on outside. Because I'd have sure been glued to your hip. Come on, Auntie. 10 years ago, I'd have been glued to your hip, Auntie. I'd have went wherever you wanted us to go. Trying to tell you. 10 years ago, I would have went. I would have went everywhere. All over the place. Now, no. But 10 years ago, but that's why I told you I always keep books of different places. You know what I'm saying? That's why, like, ooh, these is my biggest books, y'all. These 4 or 5 books is my biggest books. But these books, we would have been, Auntie. No lie, we'd have been out. The Earth from, I think Alicia sent me this book too. The Earth from the Air and Over Europe and Asia. These books are vital. Y'all see how big they is? I can't even hold them all the way up. You'll see. Just set them down here because they're so big. Look. This is our Asia book. And I looked in there. But they didn't build these. Y'all see how little them people is compared to them temples? This Asia. Look at this stone. Look. Y'all see it hidden back there, right? This is a covered temple, exactly like what it just described. But this is in Asia. This is exactly what's in Mexico, too. Hello, you see it back there? Mixed into the greenery at the top of the mountain. Temples, who built them way up there? And the rocks don't be native to that area. Oh, this open up. The monks. Yeah. Look. Look. Y'all see how big them stones and rocks is? Y'all think this got destroyed at the time of the flood? Look at that. Y'all know them stones probably weigh several tons. And they ain't moved them since. Why is this in a tree? Now, I'm going to tell you what this made me think about. The tree done grew up around it. Them is niggas. Look at that nose. Look at the lips. They ain't took them off yet. Them is niggas. If a girl can be turned into a pillar of salt, could these be the giants that are hidden in the earth? No, this tree is huge too. That's not a little tree. Because do you see? Now you know what this makes me think about? Look at this. Look how big that tree is. Do you see the roots of this tree and how big it is? Come on. Oh, yeah, they've been and found her a long time ago. They just keep bringing it back like they just found her. Who else lives like this? Aren't there African countries where they do this? Where they stores is on the water? Ah! Tell me that ain't right in your face. And this is a temple. Y'all see it. Y'all see how little that man is compared to that column. And what do you see? Dragons and snakes. And the all-seeing eye. You mean like they just described in this Atlantis book that was what was in Mexico on the large columns that were neatly engraved? We just read, now this Asia. We just read about it being in Atlantis. And with the all-seeing eye. Okay. 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 Interesting. Interesting. This is why we gotta go looking. Look how little these people is going up this mountain. Remember I told y'all about the black mountain that they said is in Palestine that they ain't on no map? Remember I told y'all there was a black mountain that they found and they thought it was just a mountain, and when they got in there it was apartments cut into the black mountain. Hello, in Palestine, in Syria. That won't show up on no map because I looked it up. That you can't find it. There's so many beautiful pictures in here. Not just of the people, but of the landscapes and everything. Okay. Okay. Hold on. If you go back, oh, please don't let me rip this. Oh. Look, y'all. This is in Lord of the Rings. This is exactly how I was talking about. That's it. And y'all see them as people down there at the bottom. I don't know if y'all can see that. Okay. Oh, I'll rip this book. Put this down. See what we find in over Europe. So this is over Europe. See what we find over here. This is where our mud flood guy is. Interesting. Y'all think they built that? Yes, Sarah. You see that? Mm-hmm. They've been playing in our face the whole time. Oh, a tree. That looks like a mountain. Interesting. What do you see? This looks like the plateaus in New Mexico, don't it? And the ones in Egypt. You see the base of the tree. This is in Europe. the Northerners. Let's see what they got over here. Have you ever seen the African villages that have huts that are spaced like this? And this looks like all of our downtown squares. But these are neighborhoods in Europe. Why are they circular? This is exactly like the huts is set up in Africa. And these are neighborhoods. Those are homes. You know what else looks like this? Where Sodan was. Only thing is, it had an obelisk in the middle. How where that all-seeing eye was. If you go watch it, this is exactly what it looked like. The only thing is there was an obelisk in the middle. That was it. Yep, that was it. The mountain builders. You said they look like the church buildings too. Yep, they do. That's how the Catholic churches is too. Right in the middle. This is so interesting. This is why I say y'all go to the Goodwill. I know they don't be having a lot of books, but these is the books you need to get, the picture books. Okay, if you don't travel, grab you some picture books about all over the world and go looking for what we read about. Because some of these photographers, they be wanting us to know, so they don't put it with words. They just, uh-oh. Is this Africa? Yep. Look here. What you see? Ain't this the same thing we just saw? Them is huts. Y'all see them? This is the exact same thing we just saw. And this ain't Europe. So you mean to tell me that the Egyptians went, and the different people from Africa, they went and they started these cities, circle huts. I'll be right back. I gotta go pee. I keep saying that and I don't leave yet. Hold on. Please go buy some picture books for them kids. Try to find one for at least each continent. And why did my daughters tell me they opened up an Ollie's in Indy? I did not know. They was like, Mom, have you ever heard about this store named Ollie's? I said, not till I got on TikTok. But yeah, I got some stuff from Ollie's here. People send me stuff from Ollie's here. I sure do know about it. I sure do. They finally opened one up in Indy. So next time I go, I'm going. It's supposed to rain today. So I'll be doing some more reading and watching. That's what I'm going to be doing for the next couple of days, y'all. So I ain't been on here, and it feels really good because I got to come in here and look through some of my books, which makes me really excited. And I'm going to do more of that today and tomorrow and the next day and the next day. Because before all of them burn up, I want to get my hands in all of them. So hopefully y'all been taking time to look through some of the stuff you bought too. Hopefully that's what I'm about to do. About to make me a little snack, some breakfast. I really want some fried potatoes. But I know that's going to make me sleepy. But I think I'm going to go to the store and go get me some fried potatoes. Because I don't got none. I thought I had some and I looked up they growing sprouts. So I got to put them out. But I'm going to be looking in my books. I want y'all to too. Get on them bookshelves, y'all. Because y'all got answers. Because y'all got books that I don't have. And I got books that some of y'all don't have. And if we keep putting these pieces together, we gonna have something here, okay? Y'all got me? So, I feel like we should go on a scavenger hunt. Fried potatoes with some onions, yes. Yeah, I am gonna go get me some potatoes. That's exactly what I'm gonna do. Get some fried potatoes and some bacon and some sausage. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Yeah, I want some of that. I really want some fish too. Ain't that crazy? I want some tilapia so bad. And I don't care if nobody else don't like it. I want it fried hard with a pickle, some mustard, and some hot sauce. Might even make me a fish sandwich. I don't know. I'm going to figure it out here in a minute. Just greedy. I like it fried hard where the edges be crunchy. Oof. If you have never tried it, next time you fry you some fish, put your little mustard just on a little small piece, and then put a pickle on top of it and bite it. It is heavenly. And if you feeling real funky, put your little hot sauce right on top of the. So you put the mayonnaise, spread your little mayonnaise on there, put your little couple of drops of hot sauce, then put you a pickle on top of it. I didn't start eating my fish like that till I moved to Indianapolis, and baby, I feel like I ain't never ate fish when I had it like that. I had not ever done it. When a person that took me there told me to do that, I said, that's nasty. I will not be eating that. They was like, just try it. I was like, and baby won't eat it no other way. Will not eat it no other way now. If you ain't got no mustard and no hot sauce and a little pickle, I'll take it without a pickle. But if you got it, come on with that. Turn your whole. I was just gonna buy some the other day from Sam's. Listen, I need some tilapia in my life, babe. I ain't nowhere where I can get no red snapper and none of that. So, but it's gonna work. I'm just gonna pray over it and keep it going, cause I need some of that. Fried in some good bread, fish seasoning batter. Yeah. That's probably when I'm gonna get some tilapia, some potatoes, sausage and bacon, probably some orange juice just in case for tomorrow. That's what I'm gonna do. Okay. Well, I'll probably come see y'all later. I don't know for sure. Depends on how this search and stuff goes. Because I want to go looking. I really want to finish this story of Atlanta's book. Oh, I took the picture of one of the price tags I changed this morning. A can of Del Monte Mandarin oranges went from $3.09 to $4.99. Are you serious? $2 more? One can of Mandarin oranges is $5. You used to be able to get Mandarin oranges too for. Wow. One freaking can. I showed the store manager and she was shocked. Wow. Did we talk about it, family? I wonder how much a can of Mandarin oranges would. $1.67 in 2017. 2018, $1.89. 2019, $1.63. And then in 2020, $1.74. In 2022, they was $1.91 for one can. In 2022, when we met, a can of oranges, Mandarin oranges, was no more than $1.91, and now they $5 without tax. So in 2022, you could buy almost 3 cans for the price of what one can is now. Because they was like $1, what did it say, $1.91, between $1.70 and $1.91. And now they $4.99 a can. That ain't even name brand. That's just regular. I remember when you could buy them for 68 cents. This what I just said, Auntie. I remember you could get like 2 cans of mandarins for $1. Because my kids used to eat them, and my mama too. I don't like the way they taste. I don't eat them. But I know my mama and them did them little, because my kids, they sell them in Arizona too. So I remember when you could get them for like $2 for $1. Like you said, $1.30, you could get 2 cans of them, baby, because they'd be loaded on the shelves. I walk right past them, but I know people that eat them. I get them for my kids and my mom, but other than that, I wouldn't eat them. You hear me? That's crazy. More than double the price. From $3.09 to $4.99 a can. The coffee has skyrocketed to a bag of Starbucks coffee jumped to over $15 to 11 ounces. Oh, I saw that. I already know. Cause I drink Folgers, but I like because I'm always in here. It's just easier for me not to make a pot, so I use the instant. Yeah, a 8-ounce thing of Folgers went up to almost $15, and it used to be like 9 something. When I first moved here, it was $6, like $6 or $7. Then it went up to 9. Then like a couple of months ago, right before 2025, it went up to like $8 or $9 for the thing, but that used to be for the 12-ounce. Well, now the 8-ounce instant Folgers is like $15. $15 for instant coffee. And y'all see how much coffee I drink. I remember when the big tub at Walmart of Folgers wasn't even $12. The regular kind that you put in the thing, not the instant. It wasn't even $12 when I moved here. I know, because I used to buy 4 of them at a time. It wasn't even $12. Now I think that dang thing's almost $17 too. $12 to $17 depending on where you get it from. Almost every tag I hung today was increased from more than 20 cents to $2. Absolutely insane. Did we talk about it, Sarah, though? It's lining up with everything God told us. The stuff was going to be 2 and 3 times more expensive than it was, so we better buy it now. And just like Auntie just said, when she bought these, she bought 3 for $10, or 3 for $12, or 3 for $17. No, 3 for $17 off of TikTok, and now you get 1 for $17. I'm about to start couponing if I can make myself stay consistent. You don't even gotta, but even if you don't buy the paper, just get all the apps. Dollar General got an app, Walmart got an app, everybody got an app. Just get the apps, because a lot of times they have digital coupons, so you don't have to cut them. But I would get a paper at least once or twice a month. But they got digital coupons now. Hold on, y'all, 1 second. Hey, sis. I'm doing okay. Sorry, y'all. That was my homegirl, and I did not want to be nosy. But I want to know if that was her daughter with the baby, but it was, and she said that wasn't her. It was another girl that got her baby name. I said, oh, okay. Because I thought it was her in her grandson. I was like, I didn't want to be nosy though, crying and stuff. But she said, no, that was my baby. Oh, okay, because it's the same thing now. Hold on. Listen, it's $20 for the big one now. Interesting. So it did go up. I knew it went up, but I noticed it before Christmas. That the prices went up. Interesting. I bought my coffee in the bag, and they very hot too. Oh, I already know. Cause I like instant coffee just cause I be doing this, and sometimes I forget that I drink both. Whatever's in there, I'm gonna drink it. Okay, but the what do you call it? Family friend. Find a family Korean market, better quality and not as expensive. Thank you. Okay. Y'all heard that? Find a Korean market. They got it better and it's not as expensive. I love this place. I love y'all. I was at Smart and Final. The Folgers and the other coffees about $20. Wow. Well, she said find a Korean market. They got better coffee and it's cheaper. I'm about to call y'all nephew and tell him to go get me some. Because he know where all the Asian markets is in Arizona. So anyway, let me go find me something to eat, y'all. I just wanted to check with y'all for a minute so y'all know I'm not missing. But I'll be reading today. I'm coming in here and playing around in the library. That's what I'm going to do. Just this, they just opened one here and I haven't checked it out yet. Okay. I love y'all. Y'all going on a scavenger hunt either through the movies? Because I'm getting ready to watch, what do you call it? Atlantis. I think I watched it with like one of the babies that I used to babysit, but I ain't seen it in a lot. Mazzala is cornstarch. My grandma back in the day would put it in coffee. It will fill you up. Interesting. I remember when the pantry was giving out coffee beans, I was thinking, how many people have coffee grinders? Auntie, I do. And got bags of coffee that need to be ground in there, do. And my daughter's like, Mom, don't keep those coffees. They go rancid. I said, it's a coffee bean. Long as it don't get wet. They done found coffee beans from the Aztecs in 1922 and made a cup of coffee out of it. I'm gonna drink it. Same, and it need to be use it to make flour too. Listen, you watched 2012 yesterday. Very interesting. I love y'all too. Yeah, I'm not throwing away nothing. Unless I could just see it getting chunky throughout the thing, I won't be throwing away anything. I will not be throwing away anything. I will not be throwing away nothing. Especially with the way this nigga is doing. Everybody, I won't be throwing away nothing. I'm going to have to pray. It ain't like the food ain't feeding us ain't already poisoned anyway. I'm about to pray over it and call it a day. Yes. That's exactly what I'm going to do. So, anyway, I love y'all because I keep sitting here saying I'm going to go and won't. I might see y'all later. I might not. Depends on what I find. But we got stuff to do. Because you know what's crazy? I haven't gone back and watched The Magicians, but I probably will just tap into a couple of them because I want to look at some of them symbols, right, that was in there. Because the first time I watched it was just interesting. The second time I watched it, it was interesting. But I'm probably about to go watch it. I love Atlantis. That was my oldest favorite movie when he was a kid. I'm about to go watch it, auntie. I'm about to go watch it. Because I bet it's all kind of stuff in them. And you know Disney be telling the truth. That's the thing. They show us what's really going on. So that's another reason why I'm going to watch it. I love y'all too. We get to go on a scavenger hunt. High five. And you can take the kids along with you, which is a cool thing. Because now you can watch it. And if you downloaded the story of Atlantis, just be skimming through the book as you know, or take screenshots of what you see, and then if you downloaded this for free, 1 and 2 movie day, listen, this, yes, that's what I've been doing, because it's like we have all these books. If we're not gonna use them, then that's a waste of God's money, and I'm not gonna do that. So I'm gonna start looking. High five. See y'all later. I love y'all. We leaving.